Hello everyone, today was a pretty good day because I woke up to see the Mortal Kombat 11 story trailer, and it's pretty hype, and I like it. So, I was actually looking forward to making this today. I was working on something else earlier today, so I only got to this just now. But, I figured it would be fun to kind of watch it, go through it, pick it apart a little bit, try to see some of the details we can notice, right? Some little hints, maybe. Now, before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about the MK11 leaks, because there were some substantial leaks, and because of that, we pretty much know the entire roster to this game, with the exception, I think there's like one or two spots that can still be filled by someone we don't know. And I wanna kind of paraphrase Maximilian Dude here, if you're familiar with him. If not, you should check out his channel for anything fighting game related. He's one of the best. But anyway, to kind of paraphrase what he said, because I agree with him, is there's kind of two kinds of leaks, right? There's the kind that's not really confirmed, and you can kind of speculate about it for a while, and then when it ends up being confirmed, or when it's not confirmed, it's fun, right? It adds a level of mystique to the speculation about the new game coming out. But the leaks we got were kind of different in the sense that there's no mystery anymore. We know everybody who's going to be in this game. There's no surprises left. Or at least there's only a few surprises left. And in a way that kind of killed my hype a little bit to see that, because I was quite enjoying. I like when they systematically have new reveals every week or so, you know? So what are you going to do? But the story trailer here, I actually quite enjoyed and was very happy with what I saw. And I want to talk about some things, and at the end of the video, we'll also talk a little bit about what they've shown on the Kombat cast, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about some of the leaked characters, but this is also the first time I'm ever trying to do this. So, bear with me here, in case I fuck it up, but hopefully we don't. So let's start watching, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to be pausing throughout this thing, obviously talking about some stuff. So, Liu Kang and Kitana, we know, are in the game. Kronika is the kind of main villain of the game, I guess, although it's still unclear. The story is a little unclear so far to me as to who is the bad guys, who are the good guys. Is Kronika really the bad guy? I thought Dark Raiden was the bad guy, but as you're going to see in this trailer, it kind of sets him up to be the good guy, and it's a little confusing. And anyway, what I really want to talk about over here is Liu Kang and Kitana. Obviously, they're still in their Revenant forms from MKX. I don't know, I'm kind of over Undead Liu Kang. I've been over Undead Liu Kang since MK Deception, so I'm happy to see that we're gonna have like the real Liu Kang back in this game. I know for some people they really like that. They're down with like the whole evil Liu Kang thing. Is that just, I'm not into it.
Keeper of time.
Okay, so today I'm pretty sure we're looking at the back of Cassie Cage here, and I'm pretty sure that's Jackie over there, but she got revealed today on today's Kombat cast, and I quite like the design decisions, especially with how she looks, but also with how she plays. She seems like she's going to be a ton of fun, and I can't wait for that. I have a little bit of footage of that I might plop in here at the end that we'll talk about, but let's keep going.
I guide the destiny of the realm. Alright,
so this is obviously Kronika's lair or some shit like that, and it's a little interesting. I guess it's supposed to be like the Gears of Time or some shit. Too much symbolism for me. But we got Liu Kang and Kitana down there. We saw this cutscene. All right, so I'm gonna stop it here for a sec. So first off, it seems to be the main plot of the game. I think they've confirmed this. Is this Kronika lady is trying to repair the timeline, but in the process make a new timeline, because we didn't have enough time travel shenanigans in MK9, so we wrote ourselves into a corner again in only 2 games, so we have to do more time travel stuff to write ourselves out. But we see Raiden electrocuting the crap out of Shinnok and all that, and again, I'm just so over the evil Raiden thing. Like, remember when Raiden was a competent god that got things done in the first 3 games to the point that he was made an Elder God in Mortal Kombat 4? Like, I miss that Raiden. That Raiden was pretty cool. Competent Raiden instead of God of Useless over here. Shoutouts to Mortal Comedy, if you remember that. Also, we got Scarlet over here with a better hairstyle. I'm one of those people who I don't really like the way Scarlet looks aesthetically in this game. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the hood. I'm also not a fan of that weird haircut she had, that like short haircut. I like this a lot better. It reminds me a lot more of the hairstyle she had in MK9, especially with the red coloration. I think that's an important part of communicating that whole, like, oh, she's made of blood and all that shit. That's such a Mortal Kombat character design. This character is literally made of blood. Okay. Erron Black is back too. He was leaked, so this isn't a surprise. He's going to be a playable character. One thing I'm hoping they do with him is they don't make him such a filthy scrub in the story mode. Because in MKX, pretty much Erron Black's only role in the MKX story mode was to get bodied by everybody else. The only people he beat were... He technically beat Rain. That was it. Like, everybody else, anytime Erron Black fought anybody, they kicked his ass. It's stupid. So, what I'm hoping they do with him, because I like I like the concept behind him. I liked his design a lot in MKX. I really would like for them to actually make him a character that is competent, and maybe we can get just, I don't know, 1 or 2 chapters in the story mode where we play from the bad guy's perspective a little bit. That would be nice. Like, one thing that grinds my gears, especially because Reptile is probably not going to be in this game, is the fact that, like, in MK9 and MK11, you don't play as Reptile at all. Like, you don't play as any of the bad guys. None of the bad guys get their chapter. Except for maybe, I guess, in MK9, you can count Cyrax. But that's about it. So, yeah, Erron Black, hopefully they do something better with him. They use him a little bit better in this game. But you never know. We'll see. Alright, so Baraka, we already know a crap ton about Baraka. Basically, this whole montage, Chronica is bringing together a whole bunch of people from the different timelines. So this is obviously Baraka from before he gets killed by Devora, which is interesting. Now, the thing about Baraka was he was one of Shao Kahn's top generals. Again, in MK9, he kind of gets reduced to jobber status and he doesn't beat anyone ever. But in the original games, he was supposed to be a pretty top tier kind of bad guy. So maybe we'll see a little glimpse of that again. Maybe, who knows, maybe Baraka will get a chapter in story mode, huh? That'll be the day.
List all those who disdain.
Okay, so I want to talk about Shao Kahn being pre-order and also being in the story mode and being an important character in the story mode. That makes me a little upset mainly because if he's an important character and he's in the story mode and he's meant to be playable, he should be in the base game. There is no excuse. It was different in MK. I defended Goro as pre-order DLC in MKX, mainly because Goro was irrelevant to the story in that game, and Goro was just a boss character in that game that you could also play as with DLC. That was a little different to me. This is much different. Shao Kahn is an important part of the story in this. He should be a playable character from the beginning. even if it's someone you have to unlock by beating the story mode, like how Shinnok was in MKX. I mean, that's kind of like if Shinnok was pre-ordered DLC in MKX. That's just, I don't know, it grinds my gears a little bit. And I get the whole thing that like, oh, Shao Kahn's a boss character. He was only playable in a few games. And yeah, I know, I get that, right? He was only really playable as a selectable character in MK Trilogy, MK Unchained, which is pretty much like Deception on crack, and Armageddon, right? And those are, two of those games are trilogy games where everybody is playable, right? So I understand that. But in this particular instance of how they're building this up so far, it seems like Shao Kahn really should be a playable character in this game, and that makes me a little mad.
The current course of history.
Alright, so Liu Kang. Well, I want to go back a little bit. We're looking at Kung Lao. So Kung Lao, all these characters are confirmed. So here's Jade, how Jade's going to look in story mode. I like Jade's design in this game. I do not like this color scheme they have for her in this story mode. I hope they change it. They're probably not, because all of this is already rendered out and everything. But I don't know. If I was designing this, I would flip the color scheme here, and I would have it primarily green with this like purplish accent to it, instead of it being primarily purple with the green accent. Just because I feel like, now this will probably get me in trouble here, but I feel like with the lighting, especially in some of these scenes, the color of the outfit kind of matches her skin color a little too closely, and as a result of that, her outfit isn't popping, and neither is one of Jade's primary visual aesthetics, which is, you know, her dark skin. Like, that isn't popping either, right? Because the colors are too similar. They're too washed out, both of them. So, like, if she was wearing primarily green, like how she is in most of her costumes and stuff that you see, like, both would be popping off each other because they're contrasting with each other. With this, it just looks so flat. This was the biggest disappointment for me in this whole trailer. Other than that, though, it is good to have Jade back in both zombie form and not zombie form, so that'll be kind of fun. Kung Lao's back. I've always loved Kung Lao. I like Kung Lao because he's a little bit of an asshole, and I consider myself a little bit of an asshole, so we're a match made in heaven.
We may draw upon allies.
Alright, so this is the most interesting part. Good Raiden is apparently going to be working alongside Shao Kahn and Kronika, while Bad Raiden is working against Kronika. But then later we see in the trailer that Good Raiden is also going to work against Kronika. Like, this whole thing is just gonna be all over the place. I'm hoping they write it really, really well so that it isn't, but my gut feeling says that this story mode is gonna be absolutely crazy in both the best and worst ways. Let's continue. Okay, so I just wanted to look at this shot, because I was looking at this earlier, trying to see if we could find, I don't know, just any Easter eggs whatsoever. Obviously, Shao Kahn's arena, who's thrown over there, so this might be in the past. Actually, you know what? This kind of looks like it might be from right around the second tournament in MK9. I don't know, though. The reason I say that is it reminds me of just the way that everybody's standing around. It reminds me of the cutscenes in MK9 during the second tournament in Outworld, where all the characters would be lined up like that. And you also see all the good characters are standing next to each other, and all the bad characters are standing next to each other. So, let's carry on. So, Devora, back. We already knew that, too. Looks like in the back we got Aaron Black over there. Now, over here we got new guy, Garrus, I believe his name is. And as part of the leaks, I'm blanking on this lady's name, or what her supposed name is. It begins with a C. I'm going to look it up and put it on the screen. But she's apparently one of the new characters, and if you remember from MK9, in Jade's arcade ending, she meets some, like, weird mystery lady, who this potentially might be. On the other hand, we also have another new character standing next to Shao Kahn. I believe the name that's been given to him is the Collector, which sounds a little odd. I don't know what to make of this guy. You get a little bit of a better look at him a little later on. So,
Will your outworld armies
right, because isn't he standing next to Shao Kahn in one of these shots? Hold on. Yes. Alright. So, he has, like, 4 arms. He's kind of got, like, a Goro thing going on. I don't know. He reminds me almost as if, like, they're like, hey, how can we save room on the roster? What if we took Goro and Reptile? Because he does remind me a little bit of Reptile with just his mannerisms and also some of parts of his design. And what if we combine those 2 characters together? Which, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, we haven't seen much about him. So I don't know what to really make of him. Overall, I guess he's not bad. But the thing about the Mortal Kombat games, when they come up with their, in quotes, new characters, right? Typically, it always happens that only like 1 or 2 end up actually sticking around in the long run. That's always how it's been, right? Ever since even Mortal Kombat 4, like, when you think about all the new characters in Mortal Kombat 4, how many have actually come back besides in Armageddon, right? Like, Kai hasn't come back. Jarek hasn't come back. You know, Tanya came back. See, that's an example. Tanya came back, right? But, like, none of these other guys came back, you know? Same thing with Deadly Alliance. Like, where's Draman? When's Draman gonna come? He's not. Moloch, not gonna come back. Suhao, remember him? Remember Movado? Where are they? Right? So, and then Deception. Where's Dairu? Where's Darius? Where's Hotaru? Where's Ashra? They don't come. Usually it's only like 1 or 2 characters end up sticking around in the long run and become treated as any type of serious part of the Mortal Kombat roster. So, you know, I have a feeling that the Collector, probably this is gonna be his one-time thing, right? Whereas I feel like someone like Garrus will probably stick around. But I just don't have hopes for the Collector. I don't see him sticking around in the long run. Alright, so is she being chased by Tarkatans or is she being chased by Kotal Khan's guys? I just want to watch that again. It goes by so fast. That's alright, YouTube has features for that. I'm gonna put that on 0.5 for a sec. Okay, yeah, so it looks like she's being chased by Tarkatans. So that means that Jade is not gonna be working alongside Baraka. Because, remember, Baraka leads the Tarkatans, and the Tarkatans technically work for Shao Kahn. Although, it could be that with all the timeline hopping and stuff like this, it could be that these Tarkatans are from the Netherrealm. So, fun fact, in case you didn't know about the Tarkatan race, the Tarkatan race originally comes from the Netherrealm, and they crossed over into Outworld and settled there, and Shao Kahn uses them for his armies. But they're originally demons from the Netherrealm. I don't know if anybody else knew that. That's a little bit of Mortal Kombat trivia for you. See, I know this series pretty well, you guys. And then there's Jade with her staff.
Kotal Khan, we have common cause.
Alright, so this is Jackie Briggs over here. I want to talk about Kotal Khan first. Kotal Khan, I don't know. I don't like it in the sense that like he's wearing face paint. You know, like the teal skin look I actually thought was kind of cool in MKX, but to see that he just paints his entire body like that, I just think that looks silly. Also, I think that might be Sub-Zero in the back over there in the blue.
Common cause. Solving this
Yeah, so... Or maybe not. Maybe that's not Sub-Zero. It's hard to tell. But, so... Kotal Khan looks like he's going to be working alongside Good Raiden, who is working alongside Kronika and Shao Kahn, but also is working against them, as we'll see later on. And young Liu Kang is going to be working with Kotal Khan, who presumably will be working against evil Liu Kang, who is going to be working with Kronika, but Liu Kang is going to be working with Good Raiden against Kronika, while also working for her. This story's gonna be a mess, dude. I can't wait.
crisis.
Alright, so Undead Scorpion's back. Ooh, go back for a sec. I want to talk about that shot. So, over here, we got these guys. They're getting choked out by, like... They look like souls, honestly. And there's kind of three characters that we've seen in MK that are known for that kind of, like, soul magic type shit, right? So... The first one is the most obvious, Shang Tsung. Then you got Ermac. And then, of course, Shao Kahn can do this stuff too. He just generally doesn't. It's never shown. Well, he doesn't usually get shown doing that, but lore-wise and canon-wise, he can do stuff. In fact, I believe it's still canon that Shang Tsung learned all his soul magic shit directly from Shao Kahn. I'll have to look that up. From what I remember, that used to be what it was in the old games. I don't know if that's still canon anymore. Anyway. Excuse me, still got a little bit of a cough. Just won't go away, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, the reason I wanted to talk about this shot was, there's like hints, I think, that Shang Tsung might be in this game. And it would make sense, number one, with all the timeline hopping. But also it would make sense because MKX, Ermac's ending in MKX is arcade ending, which may or may not be canon, we don't know yet. He ends up getting pretty much used by Shang Tsung's soul, which is kind of just like floating around in the depths of Shao Kahn's palace for some reason. And Shang Tsung's like soul uses Ermac as a vessel and uses all the souls within Ermac to rejuvenate himself. So it could be possible that we'll see Shang Tsung return as a villain in this game, which I always like Shang Tsung. I like him as a villain. I like it when he's treated as a villain with some level of respect and not just tossed aside like what they do in Act 3 of MK9. So, hopefully, we get to see some cool Shang Tsung stuff. If not, this could also be just Shao Kahn doing stuff, or it could be something else entirely, we don't know. Also, looks like who's ever doing this is doing this the Shaolin monks, and I say that because of the outfit.
Defeating Shao Kahn.
So, Cabal and Jade, revenant forms of them, obviously going to be working with undead Liu Kang and Katana. I like Revenant Jade's look a lot better than the other Jade look that we saw, because even though the green is muted, it at least contrasts with everything else that's going on. Also, Cabal, I really, really like Cabal in this game. I'm usually not a big Cabal guy. I've always liked Cabal for the hook swords, but in this game, not only does he look like an absolute blast to play, he just looks cool in this game. So I'm looking forward to him.
I will have my scouts track Shao Kahn.
Alright, so here we got Jackie fighting Jade. Jade's got her staff's kind of like a baton in this shot. Okay, so I am fairly certain that this tower thing right here is a callback to the tower stage from Mortal Kombat Deception. At least, like, as far as aesthetic and how it's designed, it reminds me of that a lot. It was the stage where you fight on the top and there's the hammer in the middle, and then you can knock people down to the lower level. I'm not saying any of that is going to be in this game. I'm not saying this is a stage. I'm just saying it reminds me of this, and I always like it when they pay tribute a little bit to the past games, especially being a longtime fan. So that made me smile.
Can't someone, anyone, explain to me what the hell is going on?
Alright, so this is the scene that pretty much sold me on the, not that I wasn't already sold on the game, but if I had been on the fence before, this is the scene that sold it to me, because one Johnny Cage is just the best. Two Johnny Cages. I don't think there's even an adjective to describe that. So,
Right? I've been in the future for a whole hour and I haven't seen one jetpack. Not one.
just the fact that Johnny Cage can't even stand himself is beautiful. Like, if they've nailed anybody in these remakes, in the reboot and in MKX, like, if they've nailed one character the best, it is without a doubt Johnny Cage. They might have not done the best with everybody, but man, did they finally get Johnny Cage absolutely right, and I love everything they've been doing with him. Okay, so what happened? Are we muted? Where's the sound? Alright, so we're back. Little technical glitch there. Turns out the trailer I was watching had some audio issues. I realized that I've been talking for 20 minutes and we're only a minute into this 3-minute trailer, so we're going to try to speed it up a little bit here. The good thing is I've already kind of talked about most of what I already wanted to talk about, so let's just kind of watch the rest. Because the rest is all just action stuff, right? Although I did want to talk about this scene real quick, where there's like this scene where Kotal Khan and Jade fight these like giant scorpion type things, and it makes me wonder, like, will this just be a cutscene? Because I was thinking, I was watching this, dude, how cool would it be if there's like a fight where you fight one of these things? And it's because that's not exactly totally weird for something from Mortal Kombat to do, because even though the way you hit this thing, it wouldn't react like a regular character, when you kind of think about it, if you remember Motaro from Mortal Kombat 3, when you beat up Motaro, you couldn't like do juggle combos with Motaro or anything like that. So, I don't know, I think it would be cool. I don't think it's going to happen, I just think it would be cool. So, Scorpion is a Revenant again, but we also have non-Revenant Scorpion.
Elder gods, the realms are in crisis.
See, this is what I was talking about, where Raiden is going to be working against Kronika, but also with Kronika, and it's just confusing.
And gain control of her hourglass. Only then will time's momentum be restored.
Oh, that shot is just so cool with Cabal just running, deflecting all the bullets. Also, I just wanted to point out one thing about this scene right here. Doesn't look too good for our buddy Aaron Black, because it looks like he's gonna just job the Cassie Cage the whole time. I don't really have too much of a problem with that, in the sense that I like Cassie Cage, so I don't mind, but I also do mind because I really would like Aaron Black to be more than just a jobber, you know?
Be restored.
We've got to take out NetherRealm's army now, before Liu Kang can bring it here.
Alright, so that's a little cool. I just wanted to point that out. Is you have non-Revenant Scorpion fighting the Revenant Scorpion. Or, well, Spectre. He used to be called a Spectre. I don't know what the term they use for him now. He used to be called a Spectre, now he's a Revenant. He might not be a Revenant, for all we know he's a Wraith. Listen, they're all synonyms. Forget what Dungeons & Dragons tells you. They're all synonyms, okay? Yeah, so Raiden's using Shinnok's amulet there, and we get some Jackie Briggs stuff.
Strength gathers. The new era draws ever closer.
Alright, so a brief clip there of Cassie Cage. Looks really fun. Alright, so Jackie Briggs over here. Let me try to pause a good shot of her. I don't know. I was just never into Jackie Briggs. I didn't like her in MKX in the sense that I didn't like her playstyle, and I also just didn't find her character that interesting. I understand why they brought her back because of the role she plays in the story, and she's also like Cassie Cage's best friend, but I'm also surprised because I also don't think she was that popular of a character. So, oh well. What you gonna do? She has a great fatality though. I love that. This one's great too. Oh, beautiful. Although I think these are the fatal, fatal blows. I almost called it Fatal Fury. Alright, so. The biggest thing I want to talk about is... the one thing I have left to talk about would be the whole business with, the characters that we do know are more than likely going to be in the game that got leaked. So if you don't want that information spoiled for you, now's the time to check out because I'm going to talk about that. So thank you for sticking around. I hope I could at least entertain you. I'm looking forward to this game. I am probably not going to be able to get the closed beta, not the closed beta, the stress test. I'm probably not going to be able to get access for that, but I do have it pre-ordered, so I should definitely be getting the beta access. Anyway, so yeah, you should check out now if you don't want to be spoiled about the leaked characters. So there's kind of only 2 leaked characters that I really want to talk about that weren't shown in this trailer that it's pretty much a guarantee are going to be in the game. We got Frost and we got Noob Saibot. And Noob Saibot, I like. I'm happy to have him back. Frost, it depends on what they do with Frost. So, Sub-Zero and Frost are very similar. Just by the mere fact that they both have ice powers and they both kind of have the same gimmick, right? Now, the thing with Sub-Zero is Sub-Zero has always been kind of a defensive-styled character. I mean, not that you can't be aggressive with Sub-Zero, you absolutely can be, but Sub-Zero has always been more about trying to bait your opponent into doing something that they really shouldn't be doing and capitalizing on that by freezing them or also extending your combos with the freeze and stuff like that. So what I'm hoping they'll do with Frost is, granted, if she is actually in this game, although it's pretty clear by now that she is. One thing I hope they do with Frost is I hope they make her a little different in the sense that she'll be maybe a more aggressive version of Sub-Zero. Maybe they'll cater Sub-Zero more towards defense, while Frost will be a more offensive version of that. And maybe she'll be more about, combo extension and rush down and stuff like that, where Sub-Zero is going to be all about, laying down the booby trap, so to speak, with the different ice clones and ice balls and ice puddles and ice this and ice that. So we'll see what happens with Frost. I'm not big on the way Frost looks in this screenshot. I don't like the bald look at all, although from what we've seen, hair seems to be fairly customizable. We saw Scarlet with some different kinds of hair. We've also seen Cassie Cage now with both short and long hair. So I think it's fair to say Frost will have some kind of customizable hair in the sense of she'll probably have her ice hair that she's always had. So we'll see what happens there. Now, Noob Saibot is interesting to me, mainly because Noob Saibot is assumed dead in the current timeline because Nightwolf in MK9 throws Noob Saibot into a Soulnado. Now, usually in Mortal Kombat lore, when you get thrown into a Soulnado, your body and soul get ripped apart and you cease to exist. However, there is an exception to that where in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Scorpion was thrown into a Soulnado, and at the end of the instead of getting destroyed, right? So his ending in Deadly Alliance, he gets thrown into the Soulnado by Draman and Moloch, I believe. And it says that his body got ripped apart and stuff like that. But it turns out in Deception, that Scorpion was kind of saved at the last minute because he got to go meet the Elder Gods and become their champion. So I wonder if the same thing has now happened to Noob Saibot, and if good old Bihan over here is going to be the champion of the Elder Gods. I think that would be kind of cool in the sense that, it's kind of a role reversal where, especially with the whole rivalry between the classic original Sub-Zero and Scorpion. So, I don't know, we'll see. It could also just be Noob Saibot from the earlier timeline. Or who knows, maybe both will be in the game. So I think that's something interesting we could potentially see with Noob as a character. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Also, I'm still holding out hope for Rain. He's not. I know Smoke's not going to be in the game. There's no room for him on the roster if all the leaks are true. But I'm still really holding out for Rain. Just because he is on the menu art on one of the things, or there's a ninja that really looks like him, and I just feel like he's such an underused villain with so much actual potential. So I really would like to see him, but who knows. Alright. We're almost at 40 minutes. This went on a little longer than what I originally planned. Sorry for rambling so much, guys, but hopefully you got your Mortal Kombat lore fix from me. I'm looking forward to this game. I can't wait for this game. I love Mortal Kombat for its story. That's one of the things about Mortal Kombat that I've always loved, because Mortal Kombat was always that fighting game that actually had a story. It's a little different nowadays in that most fighting games now have some focus on their story, but you gotta remember, back in the day, there were like a few exceptions as far as fighting game stories. Most fighting games in their story was, there is a tournament. Characters from around the world have come to fight in the tournament. And that's it. Right? Granted, each character had their own individual plot and motivations, but Mortal Kombat was like, no, there's a tournament, but there's also this interdimensional war, and there's these gods who are fighting and killing each other, and there's these different realms and shit, and, so I just am so excited. I can't wait. Alright, guys, you know the drill. Subscribe, like the video, yada, 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 share on Pornhub, you know the deal. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.